His preoccupation lasted all the way across the sodden vegetable patch until they arrived in Greenhouse 3. But here he was distracted by Professor Sprout, showing the class the ugliest plants Harry had ever seen. Indeed, they looked less like plants than thick, black giant slugs, protruding vertically out of the soil. Each was squirming slightly, and had a number of large, shiny swellings upon it, which appeared to be full of liquid.
"Bubotubers," Professor Sprout told them briskly. "They need squeezing. You will collect the pus."
"The what?" said Seamus Finnegan, sounding revolted.
"Pus, Finnegan, pus," said Professor Sprout. "And it's extremely valuable, so don't waste it. You will collect the pus, I say, in these bottles. Wear your dragon-hide gloves. It can do funny things to the skin when undiluted. Bubotuber pus."
Squeezing the bubotubers was disgusting, but oddly satisfying. As each swelling was popped, a large amount of thick yellowish-green liquid burst forth, which smelled strongly of petrol. They caught it in the bottles, as Professor Sprout had indicated, and by the end of the lesson had collected several pints.
"This'll keep Madame Pomfrey happy," said Professor Sprout, stoppering the last bottle with a cork. "An excellent remedy for the more stubborn forms of acne. Bubotuber pus should stop students resorting to desperate measures to rid themselves of pimples."
"Like poor Eloise Midgeon,"
said Hannah Abbott, a Hufflepuff, in a hushed voice.
"She tried to curse hers off."
"Silly girl," said Professor Sprout, shaking her head. "But Madame Pomfrey fixed her nose back on in the end."
A booming bell echoed from the castle across the wet grounds, signalling the end of the lesson, and the class separated. The Hufflepuffs climbing the stone steps for Transfiguration, and the Gryffindors heading in the other direction, down the sloping lawn toward Hagrid's small wooden cabin, which stood on the edge of the Forbidden Forest. Hagrid was standing outside his hut, one hand on the collar of his enormous black boarhound, Fang. There were several open wooden crates on the ground at his feet, and Fang was whimpering and straining at his collar, apparently keen to investigate the contents more closely. As they drew nearer, an odd rattling noise reached their ears, punctuated by what sounded like minor explosions.
"Morning,"
Hagrid said, grinning at Harry, Ron, and Hermione.
"Better wait for the Slytherins. They won't want to miss this. Blast-ended scroots."
"Come again," said Ron. Hagrid pointed down into the crates.
"Ugh!"
squealed Lavender Brown, jumping backward.
"Ugh!"
Just about summed up the blast-ended scroots